Yeah, and it's like, we live in and out, right? Like, oh my. So I just, at 4 o'clock, it started in the office as well.
That's why a lot of these parents get down.
And then.
I'd like to call to order the Stephenville Town Council meeting agenda for Thursday, March 28th, 2024. Janelle, would you take the roll call, please?
Councilor Barker has an excused absence tonight. Councilor Brown, here. Councilor Nelson,
Here.
Councilor Smith.
Here.
And Mayor Michelson.
Here. Would you please stand for the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, we move to item number 4, approval of the biweekly claims. Can I get a motion from the council?
Number 3.
Oh, 3, public comments, excuse me. Public comments on anything that's not on the agenda tonight, not on the agenda. Seeing none, then we'll move on to item number 4, approval of the bi-weekly claims. Councilmember Smith.
Okay. I move that we adopt claims number 18,884 through 18,888 and 18,892 through 18,896.
I have a motion, can I have a second from the council? Councilmember Nelson.
I second that.
I have a motion and a second. Do I have a discussion on the council on the claim? Councilmember Brown.
I have a question on the claim 1884. Underneath it has repair and it has the same item number and it's for 1497, 1499, and do we have 3 tires repaired or?
No, they're just split out between the different departments. So
Oh,
they're
okay.
coded to different departments. So the total is $44.95, but they're split it across different departments.
Okay,
They're
thank
split
you.
up between public works, city.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments from the council on the claims? Any comments from the public on the claims? Seeing none, Janelle, would you take the vote?
Councilor Brown.
Aye.
Councilor Nelson.
Aye.
Councilor Smith.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Item number 5, yes, we have the Bear Aware presentation of Michelle Dietrich. Hi, Michelle.
Hi there. There's actually 4 of us that are going to present. And I am Michelle Dietrich, and I am the Education Coordinator for the Bitterroot Bear Resources Committee. And we've provided you with a slideshow to kind of follow along with us. Yes, exactly. There should be one between 2. Excellent. Well, first off, I'd like to really thank you for giving us the time because we're here to ask your help and your advice and gain your experience from being council members in Stevensville. We are a diverse group of people, agency personnel. I'm a citizen volunteer. We have local businesses like Bitterroot Disposal and a number of folks that are just trying to fulfill our mission, which is to reduce human-bear conflicts in the Bitterroot Valley. Okay. So if you go on to the one with the shot of the 2 bears, I think it's the 4th slide, or no, 3rd slide. Maybe. That's it on the bottom there. Perfect. So bears are part of what make Montana unique. You know, we live in a place with wildlife around us, and very few states can say that. I mean, we have the same wildlife that we've had that have been here since Lewis and Clark. So that's what makes Montana, Montana. It's why we live here. to have those wild places around us. And then the next one, the problem is, if you go to the next page, when bears and humans kind of superimpose, you can have troubles. And the picture right there is the bottom of my road where we have a group pickup for garbage. And the bears would come hit it all the time. And I got together with some of my neighbors, and then I did that terrible thing, put the note out, but just said, hey folks, if we bring stuff down in the morning, maybe we can prevent this from happening. And those of you that bring it down at night probably don't even know that this happens because we come down in the morning and we clean it up. And luckily that kind of helped quite a bit. We've only had like one hit, and we used to have regular hits. So just kind of getting together and doing something different can often make a huge difference. And we also now have bear-resistant containers available from Bitterroot Disposal for just $3 more a month, which is a very small price to pay, since in Missoula and a couple other places that I checked, it's $10 to $15 a month for bear-resistant containers. They've done a great job to bring that price down. But our mission, once again, is to reduce human-bear conflicts in the Bitterroot Valley and to keep people safe, but also keep Montana, and keep it a little bit wild. So on that note, I'm going to pass it over to Bruce Montgomery. He is the Bitterroot Bear Specialist for Fish, Wildlife, and Parks.
Thank you for your time. As Michelle said, I'm the bear manager. My name is Bruce Montgomery. FWP created this position in 2022 because of the high amount of bear conflict in the valley, and also the fact that grizzly bears are moving in. The valley has very high levels of conflict. Like Michelle was saying, a lot of them are driven by trash. In addition to trash, fruit trees, unsecured chickens, chicken feed are big ones. And it results in risks to human safety, property damage, food condition bears, and then ultimately dead bears. So grizzly bears in the Bitterroot, confirmed sightings in the Bitterroot go back clear to 2002. On the Burnt Fork, there was one confirmed. And then more recently, they've been showing up every year. So, in 2018, there was one caught on the golf course. And then in 2021, there was one up on Bass Creek, and then I caught two in 2022, two young subadults, siblings. I don't know if you guys heard about those. They were running around the north end of the valley, and they made their way pretty far south around Bass Creek area. Last year, the MPG Ranch, they do research trapping, and they ended up trapping a grizzly in one of their black bear traps. And so we responded and went up and collared that bear. And that bear spent the rest of the time, minus maybe 2 weeks when he dropped over on the Clark Fork, but spent the rest of the time in the Bitterroot, most of it up high, but then right before Denup fall, he spent a lot of time along the Bitterroot River. And that bear denned down here. That bear denned up in the Welcome Creek Wilderness. So we're just trying to get ahead of things and secure attractants and keep people safe, keep bears safe.
Hi everybody, I'm Jessica Reyes. I'm the program biologist for Wind River Bear Institute. I'm also with the Bitterroot Bear Resource Committee, and I've been assisting Fish, Wildlife, and Parks and communities in the Forest Service throughout the Bitterroot Valley and Missoula County since 2019 with the Wind River Bear Institute. And with the Institute, we work with the Carillion Bear Dogs, and we provide education outreach for communities. We were at the Creamery Picnic, and we provide it for schools and other local events, but we also assist them in responding to human bear conflict calls. And for my master's thesis, I'm currently working on, if you turn to the page with the maps, I'm currently working on mapping all of the human bear conflict calls that have been reported to Fish, Wildlife, and Parks over the last 5 years, and analyzing how that has changed with the increasing development throughout the Bitterroot Valley and Missoula County. And so a part of that research you'll see in that map with the hotspot map that shows you where the conflict priority areas are throughout the Bitterroot Valley, and the star that's on the map with the arrow is pointing directly to Stevensville. So you can see the conflict priority hotspot areas around Stevensville, mostly concentrated on the west side of the river. Stevensville's highlighted, outlined in red there. And the priority drainage areas that we have identified where we have conflicts year after year are Kootenai Creek, Sweeney Creek, St. Mary's, and also Bass Creek, Larry Creek Loop. And also the golf course has an open barrel garbage can. So they have called us repeatedly year after year, bears getting into their garbage can outside of the snack shack from people leaving food wrappers into the garbage can. And then a bear comes in at night, knocks it over, leaves trash everywhere. So they have asked us to respond. And so we have identified that as one of our priority areas that we would like to address in getting a bear-resistant garbage can in there. And also another priority area is the Stevensville River Park. That has an open barrel garbage can as well, and it's right along the river, which is a travel corridor for bears. If you turn to the next page on the slides, that's just the actions that we have been taken as a group. Collectively, we conducted 24 presentations for schools, community events, and I conducted 6 trainings for the campground hosts and did presentations for the Bitterroot National Forest. And we're also working with people to secure whatever attracts bears into conflicts. We have programs that can help with funding with electric fencing, also bear-resistant garbage cans, as we mentioned, and other resources are available. So we're just trying to get that information out to people and help resolve conflicts however we can and prevent them. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Jennifer Bronowski with Bitterroot Disposal. Thank you for your time.
Hey, everybody. Again, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. So my name is Jennifer Bronowski. I'm the Community Relations Manager with Bitterroot Disposal. And, obviously we have kind of a unique perspective on this situation and kind of a unique role in helping to address bear and human conflicts. We do have bear-resistant containers available to add to your service. And we have, been seeing this obviously increase as development continues to grow in the valley. Currently, we've got just under about 16,500 people that we service and about 1,500 commercial businesses. So we're seeing, before even a lot of residents are on the road, we're seeing these, areas where bears have been into the garbage. And so part of our collaboration with Fish, Wildlife, and Parks and with Bear Resource Committee is to begin, about 3 years ago, we started working with FWP in tracking what our drivers were seeing. Because a lot of times the residents would, see it, but not know where to call in or not know how to report it. Or like Bruce has seen, there may be a row of 15 homes and one person calls to report an incident, but all, maybe 8 or 10 of those cans, the bear just kind of went down the road and just, was just picking through multiple cans. So, it's important to have that data so that we can see the consistent hotspots. Like Jessica said, that mapping is going to be really critical in determining, where we need to address those issues. Obviously, since our garbage containers are out and our guys are picking up that garbage really early in the morning, there's a real risk to human safety because in a lot of cases our guys have to get out of the truck, clean up the mess, and in some cases they have been there when the bear are still on site. So, there's a human safety element not only for our drivers, but also residents. And when those bears become conditioned to see garbage as a food source, they will stop, or, especially, and Bruce can answer questions obviously about the behavior of bears, but they became conditioned to that. They see human beings or human settlements as a potential food source, and then they train their offspring to do the same thing. So that's part of the mothers training their babies, like where to find food. So we're challenged just as a company with, there's no real ordinances in the valley mandating that folks return their garbage carts to their home after service. So we have a lot of situations where carts are left out full time on the roadside. They become areas where people just maybe dump larger items there next to groups of cans. And that constant presence of accessible garbage is becoming more and more of an issue, certainly as grizzly move into the area. So if you want to skip to the next page, this is just kind of an outline of what resources we have available to the community. You know, we want to be an active, engaged partner to support our community and whatever needs are out there. So we have invested in buying bear-resistant garbage cans, which again, like Michelle said, they're about $3.12 more a month. So for less than $10 a quarter, you can get a bear-resistant container for your home. The reason that we have to charge a little bit extra and why so many other communities are charging $10 or $15 extra per month is that the cost of the bear-resistant containers can be 4 to 6 times more than just a standard garbage cart. So, you know, where we might be able to buy a standard garbage cart for between $50 and $65, a bear-resistant cart can run anywhere from between $275 up to $425. So it's significantly more expensive. So we just have to recoup some of those costs and obviously the extra investment in those. We currently have about 280 bear-resistant carts available, or I'm sorry, in use now in the valley, and we have about 200 available. So as the demand increases and our inventory decreases, we will certainly commit to buying more. But we're just really, as the Bitterroot Bear Resource Committee, trying to get the word out to our city and county leaders that this is not going to be a problem that goes away. And, you know, the more collaboration we can get with city leaders in not only sharing the information, but obviously also, you know, helping us to identify areas where we might be able to address some of the low-hanging fruit, pardon the pun, for addressing, you know, those areas like on the golf course or in public areas that have accessible trash. You know, there are some things that can be done as a community to address that. And yeah, so again, just a couple other things off my slide. We've, like I said, been actively collaborating with wildlife agencies. We did an area where there were multiple carts set out. We did a test, like a pilot program where we put all bear-resistant cans out, and then we monitored the frequency of bear, evidence of bears in the garbage. And then we also did a survey with those residents and asked them just kind of what their experience was in using the bear-resistant cart. So there were a couple different models that we had, and we got some customer feedback on, you know, would they use this? How easy was it to use? And those kind of things. So we've got some community feedback. So yeah, we're actively in collaboration and kind of tangential to the Bitterroot Bear Resource Committee. We are actively communicating with customers who, when our driver reports that there have been instances of bears in the garbage, then we proactively reach out to the customer with a letter, say, hey, you know, there's been signs of bears getting into your garbage. Here is the information about the bear-resistant containers, and if you'd like to order one, please give us a call back and we can get one delivered. So we're actively trying to reach out to those customers who have repeated issues at their home with the garbage. So that's all for my portion of the presentation. And Michelle, did you want to wrap up?
I'm just going to wrap it up with the very last slide.
Thank you so much, everybody. Appreciate your time.
Which is questions and discussions of possible steps forward. We looked at a couple focus areas for you folks, and that would be the Teller Wildlife Refuge area. But I will say that one of my student groups put a couple of bear-resistant containers in there as student projects, which has been real fun. We've been working with students for about 4 years now, and they go around and kind of monitor some of these things. They monitored our comparison of different types of bear-resistant containers. So that's been kind of a neat thing. And also the golf course area, Jessica already mentioned that. And then schools, and then you have a Stevensville Riverside Park, and that has an open container there. Those spots would be great places. And then, of course, the residential conflict areas that are on that map that we put in the presentation. And then, you know, a couple of weeks ago, we actually spoke with Hamilton City Council, and they are now working to put bear-resistant containers, the metal style containers, which is on the left-hand side or the right-hand side of that sheet right there, to keep bears out and to make it much easier for us to keep those attractants secured. And there are grants available, and I'll let Bruce talk a little more about that if you're interested, but there are matching grants to get those containers. It's a really good idea. And we did bring, we heard there wasn't enough room in here to bring it in, but we do have an example of a bear-resistant refuse cart right out in the hallway there if you want to test it out. But we are here to ask you, how do we get the word out? We were at the Creamery Picnic last summer, and we had a lot of interest in our spot. We were teaching people how to use bear spray and talking about securing attractants. And it went over really well. I mean, I think people are interested in information, but as you folks probably know, it's really hard to get the word out in the Bitterroot Valley. People kind of keep it themselves. And so we're here to ask you, how do we do it? And what are the best next steps?
Janelle?
You had provided in an email to me earlier in the week, or it was even on Tuesday or even Wednesday morning. Those links I will add to our news section of the Stevensville's website. So I'll make sure that those go on there. Probably not tomorrow, we've got some training, but I'll work on that on Monday.
That would be great. And we do have a Facebook page called Bitterroot Bears, and we have our own website page in Missoula Bears, which lets people report conflicts or report sightings of wildlife, and then also to find information about electric fencing. There's a lot of grants out there, and there's a lot of matching grants for making this happen. We just have to get the word out to folks and get them going. Like we presented to beekeepers here in the valley, and we did a demonstration. We actually went out to someone's house and fenced in their apiary. So we're here to give that information out. So
How fast is the turnaround time on the grants?
that's a good question.
So there's two different ones, really large ones that just went through. The one is the America the Beautiful that FWP got, that Heart of the Rockies initiative is kind of managing. That's, I believe, $5 million over the next 3 years. And then the other one is a NRCS grant, and that's $6 to $7 million over the same time period. And they're kind of four different things. The NRCS is kind of easier for a homeowner to access those funds. Basically, they have a project and it will be paid for. But that only covers range riding, carcass pickup, and electric fencing. America the Beautiful is a little more flexible, but there's a little bit more work involved in accessing the funds. The funds will likely, for the Bitterroot Valley, be managed by Defenders of Wildlife, and so they'll manage those funds. And then as we identify, like say a person wants their chicken coop electrified, then they're gonna be the ones that disperse that money and get that paid for. And so the funds aren't even available yet, but the America the Beautiful funds will be available starting April and May. And then by then we'll have the process kind of all hammered out.
Okay, and that will be listed on your website then? The links, the grants and all that? Okay.
Yes, it is. It's linked in with the
Okay.
Missoula Bears website. Yeah. Okay. Nick, do you want to see the card, or are you, do you want me to bring the card in and take a look at it? Or are you moving on to the next
We'll
thing?
move on with the meeting.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you very much.
Any other questions from the council?
No, I just appreciate them not bringing in a bear for demonstration.
Actual bears will be this.
The website that you just spoke of is called Missoula Bears.
Missoula Bears, and then if you go into community pages, you'll find the Bitterroot Bear Resource Committee. And so everything about the Bitterroot Valley is there. And there's a lot of information there. And then I did provide quite a few links with Janelle on where to find information about how to secure attractants and those grants.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
We move on to item number 6. Public hearings. A, second reading, proposed amendment of ordinance 141 and ordinance incorporating various airport ordinances, resolutions, and policies into establishing the Title III airport of the municipal code of the town of Stephenville. So we did our first reading at the last meeting, and we're getting up to the second reading now, and Mr. Will Rose.
Just preemptively getting up for questions. Just preemptively getting up for any more questions. Already here. You guys have questions about it?
I don't get it. I'm good. It's just a public hearing right now, so.
Thank you.
Any other guests for the public hearing on ordinance 141? Seeing none, we'll move on to item number 7, unfinished business. Item A, discussion decision, proposed amendment of ordinance 141, an ordinance incorporating various airport ordinances, resolutions, and policies into the establishing Title III airport for the municipal code of the town of Stephenville. Do I have a motion? Councilmember Brown.
I move that we adopt the proposed amendment of ordinance 141 in an ordinance incorporating the various airport ordinance resolutions and policy into establishing Title III airport of the municipal code of the town of Stevensville.
I have a motion by Councilmember Brown. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Councilmember Smith. Do I have a discussion by the council on ordinance 141? Councilmember Brown.
So more or less from the last time it was through, we've kind of cleaned this up from the previous, is that correct, Will? Where we had cross off and lines through, this is more or less the
Exactly.
revised,
So it's cleaned up.
Yes.
On your last page, you'll see where it was signed,
okay.
and the first reading. And that shows that you guys had approved that piece, and
Okay,
I took all the little lines out and, okay, those little pieces to make it look.
thank you, that's what, it was kind of confusing the last time around, so this is much cleaner, thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
Any other questions to Will regarding ordinance 141? From the council? Any comments from the public on ordinance 141 of the airport ordinance? Seeing none, Janelle, would you take the vote?
Councilmember Brown?
Aye.
Councilmember Nelson?
Aye.
Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Thank you. Moving on to new business item number 8A, discussion decision, special event fee for the Stephenville Civic Club's event. So, Mr. Shaw, would you give up?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sean Will, president of Stevensville Civic Club. I came in a couple weeks ago to begin filing the permits and paying the event fees for 3 events coming up that are also on the agenda for tonight. As we went through it, I started asking questions about certain fees. I have a breakdown of the fees that are paid for by some of the different events in town. I have a copy for everybody if you'd like, if that's okay. Sorry, I kind of did that at the last minute. I also included the Scarecrow Festival, although we didn't know it at the time, simply because I'm on the team for Scarecrow. So there's fees for those ones as well. When we look at some of the fees that we pay for some of our events, one of the ones that came into question was the special event with alcohol fee. As you can see, that one is a $200 permit fee. Not quite sure what that gets us though, other than saying okay to have alcohol. We provide the tables, the chairs, the cups, the security, the whole bit. So that was one of the ones that came up for question. The other thing that started questioning on the fees as I was looking at the events, the fee schedule for the town was, I was looking at the fee for the farmer's market, and it's a flat $100 for their entire season, which is roughly 20 Saturdays, which makes it about $5 per day that they have theirs. And if you look at ours, such as Creamery is a 2-day event, by the time all is said and done, you know, we're $300-400 per day. And the Creamery total that you see, by the way, up in the top, doesn't include the fees that I put down at the bottom for when I finalize things with Janelle and the rest of town around what blocks I want to block for the grand parade, for you know, the different events that happen on Friday night and that kind of stuff, is our fees will actually increase by $225. So we're looking at a potential total based on the current fee schedule for the town of the Creamery fees alone being roughly $935, which just seems, I don't mind paying it, I don't want to rip the town off, but it does beg some questions around the event fees.
Okay. So, My question to the council would be, Janelle brought this up earlier today. If you go down on there where it says stage setup group, tables are owned by the Civic Club.
It's stages.
The stage is owned by the Civic Club. So here we are, this was not under our administration or the previous one, but a couple of administrations ago, he put it in the fee schedule to charge the Civic Club for the use of their own tables. So I would like, I know it's crazy. Stage. So I would like the council to definitely consider waiving that tonight. That and another one would be $200.
Doesn't this also have something to do with where the stage is being stored?
Yeah, we store it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But still,
So as well as that, so we're charging them storage fees?
Don't know.
that's what I would consider, that the council waive that fee.
Sure.
And then when we get to our, working on the budget, we're going to bring the fee schedule back before the council. And then we would set a fee schedule for yearly for the Civic Club that would work for them and the town. Like he said, he's willing to pay, but $935 is high. When you consider, and it's the same thing every year, other than certain, it's the same event, the Caribbean Picnic, Scarecrow. We do it year in and year out. The Civic Club promotes that, as we all know. And we get that back through the businesses. I mean, the Scarecrow Festival is one of the biggest events in the Bitterroot Valley. It's packed. So it brings so much business to the town. And I would think it would only be fair if we treated the Civic Club with a little break. And we gave it to the farmers market. I have talked to Stacy about it. She said she would be all for it, even though she wasn't here tonight. Because she knows I was on the council then when Cindy was too, when we gave the farmers market a set fee,
Okay. Ready for a motion?
22. Yes, so if I could entertain a motion. Councilmember Smith.
I move that this council will adopt the, what's the word I want? Get rid of the stage setup fee for $100,
But wouldn't it be two?
In this case, he has two on his.
wherever it is.
Yeah.
We'll get rid of it. Don't need it.
Waive the $200.
Waive the $200, yes.
I second that.
We have a motion, and we have a second. Do we have a discussion by the council?
So the town is storing the stage somewhere
Just down in the field.
Down in the field.
down in the sewer plant, out of the way.
Sits in the field.
So really, it's up to the Civic Club to move it from where it's being stored and putting it, or is that the park or
We've
the
been setting it
streets
up.
and alleys?
So it depends on the situation. So when the stage has been pulled out during the daytime, when there's other things that are happening along with the stage setup, then yes, the Public Works Department in the past has pulled it out for us and brought it over onto Main Street as part of other things that they may be doing. There have been other times that we send somebody down with a truck while the treatment plant is open and the gate's open to go grab it and bring it up. So I'd say over the last 2 years that I've been doing this, it's been about half and half. Half the time we go get it, half the time they've brought it to us. I don't have a problem paying like a move fee or, something of that nature, but if there was a $25 or $50 move fee,
I think we're talking about 1/10 of a mile.
For the water sewage plant, we typically bring the stage, so one comes to the park, and the other stage typically is put at the northwest corner of 3rd and May. It's usually where it always ends up. Scarecrow ends up around the corner where the farmers market is when they leave. So that's the furthest that it's ever gone, except for Western Heritage Days a couple years ago. Then it was on the east side of 3rd by Republic Bank.
So then when we review the fees, maybe we should add something with regarding if Public Works is taking the time out of their day to move that stage that way.
Okay, we can consider it.
I would find a moving placement be perfectly acceptable. I mean, that would make sense. It's town gas, it's town resources. Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll have to set that in when we review these.
Budgets.
Councilmember,
I was just looking at this and, I mean, I've been in the diary for about a year now. But, I lived in Missoula most of my life, and I know that I've been invited to this Scarecrow Festival probably more times than any event in Missoula. So I'm assuming it brings a pretty good flow of people out here.
Creamer brings a little over 8,000 people on average over the course of the first weekend of August. And Scarecrow brought,
10.
they're the two biggest events that take place. And 8,000 is what we figured last year with the bad weather and the rain.
So, personally, I think that waiving the fees off.
And that 10,000 is only Friday night.
Yeah. Oh, so
Count
it's a good
Saturday,
night.
Sunday in the week, it's a lot more.
So
And we're talking about a permanent waive the fee, or you get rid of it.
that's kind of what, that's my, what fee, just to waive
Stage
that
setup.
fee entirely.
Stage setup.
I mean, if we were storing it in that storage or something, I would figure that was different. But this is just my opinion, just my thoughts.
so would you like to,
Well, I think for now, maybe we should waive the fees tonight, and
Yes.
then when we go back
Yeah.
and we're resetting the fees, we can make a decision then if we want to just abolish that fee completely, or just have a move fee, and figure out how long is it taking Public Works to do that. If they're not using Public Works to do that, then by all means, it shouldn't be a charge.
I think-
But exactly for tonight, I think that's a good idea to move forward with.
okay, so we have a motion and we have a second. Do we have discussion from the public on this?
We do not have a second yet.
Oh, we don't have, yeah, I thought he said.
You did not hear that. Sorry.
I apologize.
That's okay, yeah.
Got it, Janelle?
Got
We have a motion and a second.
Thank
We
you.
have discussion by the council. Do we have discussion from the public? Anything else for you, Sean?
At this time,
Okay.
Thank you.
And from the council, seeing none, Janelle, would you take the vote?
Councilmember Brown,
Aye.
Councilmember Nelson.
Aye.
Councilmember Smith.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Thank you. Okay. New business item number B, special event permit for the Culpeper Merriweather Circus sponsored by the Stephenville Civic Club. Mr. Sean.
so every 2 years, the Culpeper Merriweather Circus travels through western Montana. The only place that's ever managed to be held in the past is here in Stevensville. After talking to Mr. Lassiter, Ms. Berthoud, and a few other folks, 2 years ago, the last time it came through, we were in a field owned by the Stevensville Community Foundation over off of Park and Middleburn Court. It was semi-successful, a lot of people couldn't find it, parking issues, that kind of stuff. So the request came up of what if we put it in Lewis and Clark Park? Better parking, better access, easier to find. I've been talking with the Culpeper Merriweather Circus a lot over the last few weeks. I've seen some of the other places where they have held the circus. They do them in many small towns, parks, and fairgrounds areas. The grounds afterwards look awesome, no damage. They bring in the trucks, they drive nice and slow, they bring everything in, they unload it, they set up the tents. The only damage, if you will, is from the tent spikes that are driven into the ground. Of course, we'll mark it in the utilities, work with Mr. Lassiter for sprinkling, water lines, those types of things. They don't need power. They need 300 by 300 foot space, access to be able to get in and out, and water. That's it. They'll be here for one day. They would come in on Friday, June 21st, early in the morning, get everything set up. We have 2 shows, one at 5 p.m., one at 7:30 p.m. You can seat up to about 600 people per each, although I don't think we'll quite hit that. And then they'll start packing up that night, and in the morning, everything will be gone, and back the way it was. The only thing that we left behind is the dumpster that we have to rent from Big Root Disposal for them to throw all the trash in. And we'll, of course, have that scheduled to be picked up on the next business day.
Make sure it's bear safe container.
It's gonna be a 4 cubic yard dumpster. If the bear can get in there, it's all, go for it. Not sure you can get out. Other than that, we do this every 2 years. It's the only chance a lot of kids are ever gonna see a circus. My kids have gone the last 2 times that they were here. It was awesome.
Circuses are dying out.
They are dying out. Even the big one, the Barnum Bailey is now gone. Culpeper Merriweather is one of the last few that goes. And it's a small style circus that works for a small town, and communities. So it's a lot of fun. So,
Okay,
we just need the space.
all right. With that, can I entertain a motion from the council?
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Councilmember Smith.
I move that we adopt special event permit Culpeper Merriweather Circus sponsored by the Stephenville Civic Club.
I have a motion by Mr. Smith. Do I have a second? Councilmember.
Second.
I have a motion and I have a second. Do I have any discussion from the council regarding the circus? Councilmember Brown.
Just one question is, will they be camping overnight at Lewis and Clark Park?
Potentially in the parking lot before they pull out the next morning, if that would be allowed. And I can always work with Chief Bo and Steve Lassiter to make sure that works out.
I think we have a no camping that we would have to address.
We would have to bring up to the council to waive that.
Do I need to do that as a request?
Yes, probably.
Okay, I will
The official allow
get
it.
that submitted as
You
quickly
have
as
plenty
possible.
of time, so
Okay.
if that's going to happen,
Yep.
we should
Cover our
probably,
butts. Think of
yes,
the liability issue.
yes.
Okay. Will be covered under our insurance, which I give Janelle a copy every January, regardless of what's happening. Plus, we also got the Civic Club and the town named as pays on the circus's insurance as well, which I gave her a copy of that as well. So there's our normal $2 million coverage, $1 million from the circus. So just so you know, and I did have them name the town.
Great, thank you. I just knew we have an ordinance about overnight camping at the park,
Okay.
so if that's going to happen, we need to look at that.
I'll file for another request, and I'll find out
Thank
from
you, Sean.
I'll find out from their coordinator on their side exactly what ends up staying overnight, what stays overnight, because I know some of them leave that night head for wherever the next show is, but I'll find out exactly what would be remaining and roughly how many people.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
That would be wonderful.
That's why we did this in March.
Yes,
Gives us time to time.
lots of time.
Any other questions from the council? Any questions from the public? Seeing none, Janelle, would you take the vote?
Councilmember Brown? Aye. Councilmember Nelson?
Aye.
Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Thank you. Item number C, discussion decisions, special event permit for the 4th of July picnic sponsored by the Stephenville Civic Club. Mr. Shaw.
I did them all in one shot, just so you know. Picnic, July 4th is an annual tradition. It's been going on here in Stevensville for, what I got told, years. So this is our, basic community potluck that we put on. No charges, no sponsorships, no nothing like that. We provide all the pork for pulled pork sandwiches. We provide all the tableware, the volunteers to clean up, drinks, the whole bit. The rest of the community brings side dishes and desserts if they're able. Everybody's welcome. Last year, we had the largest crowd that we had in 4 years. We pushed it back to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We used the pavilion on the east side that's closest to the pool. I think the splash pad brought more people too, more families. We had a little over 200 people that showed up last year, which is up from about 110 the previous year. So we would like your permission to be able to do that. Again, no power, no water, and we volunteers to do all the cleanup. So the only thing left behind for Mr. Lasser's team is sometimes extra trash bags, but I can bring in a large dumpster if need be, one of the big round ones.
Okay. So, with that, can I get a motion? Councilmember Brown.
I move that we approve the special event permit for the 4th of July picnic sponsored by the Stevensville Civic Club.
I have a motion by Councilmember Brown. Do I have a second? I second. Councilmember Nelson. I have a motion and a second. Do I have a discussion by the council?
Just that we were just learned about those special garbage cans and they'll be
I'll make it
attracting the
special
bears.
request. Especially after the leftover report.
Yes.
Okay, any comments from the
Put
public?
on a bear guard.
I'd like to add that I've been going to this picnic for the last couple of years, and this last year was very well done, very well attended. I was really surprised, considering the year before, it's pretty small. But
Thank you. The Stevensville Fire Department and the Legion Auxiliary does a great job partnering with us on it too. So they're great help.
no comments from the public? No further comments from the council? Seeing none, Janelle, would you take the vote?
Councilmember Brown? Aye. Councilmember Nelson?
Aye.
Councilmember Smith?
All right.
Motion passes 3-0. Thank you. Item number D, discussion decision, special event permit for the 111th Creamery Picnic sponsored by the Stephenville Civic Club. Mr. Sean Doyle.
So we want to put on the 111th Stevensville Creamery Picnic on August 2nd and 3rd. It's a Friday and a Saturday, the first Friday, of course, of August. We'd like to be able to do all of our usual events Friday night with the kids parade coming down Main Street, the street party that takes place over on Main Street between about 2nd and 4th for the most part. Of course, the grand parade on Saturday morning, and then of course all of the activities that we have in the park, from the beer garden to the food trucks, the vendor marketplace, the stages and bands that are running, the kids games, the pig races, all of that sort. So kind of like we did last year, we just keep adding a few activities here and there.
Should do the picnic after this, and you use the
Big
losers
races.
from the pig race.
I thought about that too. They didn't like that idea too much.
Okay. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
So, do I have a motion?
Go ahead.
I make a motion.
Sorry, pardon me.
Wrong page. I make a motion that we authorize the special event permit for the 111th Queenway Picnic sponsored by the Stevensville Civic Center.
I have a motion by Councilmember Nelson. Do I have a second? Councilmember Smith. I have a second by him. Do I have a discussion? Councilmember Nelson.
I love what the Civic Club does in this town.
Thank you.
Keep doing it.
It's awesome. Thank you. Do I have any further discussion from the council? Any discussion from the public? Seeing none, Janelle, would you take the vote?
Councilmember Brown? Aye. Councilmember Nelson?
Aye.
And Councilmember Smith?
Motion passes 3-0. Thank you, and thank you, Sean, for putting it all
Thank you.
together at one time. That really helps get us ahead of the ball, like I said.
And I'll be back drawing beer.
Cool. Thank you.
And then when we do the fee schedule during the budget cycle there, we'll bring it up, and then we'll have you back there, then we can say that.
Mistakes.
And I'll be doing the same thing that I did last year. I'll submit a traffic control plan, security plan, the whole bit as we get closer to the event. To Chief Bo, to Janelle for review. And then if there's any questions or any concerns that pop up, she knows how to get a hold of me, and I will be at whatever meeting you need me to be.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on to item number C, discussion decision, request an RFP for towing services for the town of Stevensville. As you can tell, a dedicated towing service will provide towing services for the town-owned property, assist law enforcement when town codes are being enforced, and assist with illegal parking on town property. We're requesting a 2-year agreement, and we had one, right? That was usually, which was a towing service that we had.
Right, we've used a local towing service without contract, just because he was available and was able to do those things for us. And now there has been an interest shown by a couple other towing companies local that have come by to ask. And so at this point, we need to look at an RFP. Yep.
So with that, could I get a motion by the council to start this? Councilmember Smith.
I move that we adopt a request for an RFP for towing services for the town of Stevensville.
I have a motion by Mr. Smith. Do I have a second? Councilmember Brown.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and I have a second. Okay, before, would it be okay before we get started if I give a little presentation here?
I'm for it.
Okay. That was one of the reasons why the RFP came forward. Another reason that came forward is on the last council meeting, did you know, when we were ordered by the district judge to clean up the abatement process over there on 325 or 26 East 3rd. That's been appealed. As you all know, I sent you the email. Mr. Korowski appealed that, okay? So that kind of put us at a standstill, but it doesn't stop us as Mr. Overstreet has turned around and he has appealed that to the Supreme Court, our attorney. And he wants to name us as one of the appellees, which means we want to be in the mix when it's settled, and then we don't have to wait, and we can go right on in. So that would speed up that process. Another thing that's going on is I walked all over town. I put an article out in the Bitterroot Star. It'll be out here next week. And I am very serious about cleaning up our town. It has to be done. I see vehicles parked on the street with expired plates, flat tires, stuff that hasn't been moved in years. And I'm not exaggerating. We all know we see it. Not only that, but we have yards in disrepair, private property that needs to be taken care of. So starting next week, I'll be sending out letters to property owners. And I'll be telling them that they can come on in and let's discuss your situation with your trash and your yard issues, and we'll work with you. But if you don't, then you're gonna be getting a visit from our new chief of police, and I don't think they wanna meet you that way, because it'll be a citation. Because we have to get serious. That's the only way we're gonna do it. By piddling around and just turning our sideways, not gonna clean it up. It's not gonna clean it up. And getting back to their case, these two fine citizens that sued that owner over there, and the district judge told us to clean it up. I think we can do a little bit there within our power, like Loie said earlier today. I think we can go on the outskirts there in our parts of our property and we can mow that. There's no reason why we can't. That's our property. That isn't his. He has no say. If he comes out and says anything or does anything, then he'll be getting a call from our chief too. Because we have rights too, and I will not take baseless threats from anybody that seems to think that we're intervening when we have town ordinances that back us up. It's the only way we're gonna clean it up. And I'm serious about it, because it's been going on too long. It's a beautiful town, but it needs to be cleaned up, and when it's cleaned up, it needs to be kept that way. You know, once I'm gone or once you're gone, hopefully the next administration can keep the thing going, because I've been here since 2016, and there was only 16 and 17, we had spring cleanups with the Civic Club, with the Main Street Association and all that, and they really helped out with volunteers. Those days are kind of gone for some reason. It doesn't seem like a whole lot of people, other than local church groups and that want to step up and help. And if that's what it takes, I'll go ask you. But yeah, it's time to do it, and I'm willing to take that on. And I hope that anybody wants to help me out there, let's do it. You know? And with that, can I get a discussion by the council before we open it up to the public?
I'm in agreement with you, sir.
100% as well.
Clean it up.
Yeah, I go for Johns as well. I pick up a lot of beer cans laying on the side of the road, and it's pretty disheartening. I don't know who's chucking beer cans out of their cars, but stop drinking and driving. And put your beer cans in the trash. Just makes the town look garbage.
Any other comments from the council? Okay, we'll open up to comments from the public. Mr. Groniger.
We've been fighting this fight for a long time. I moved here in 1990. It's never been different. It's always been the same. The mayor and I last year, and I believe the year before, we made several trips around town together and discussed some situations and everything else. And I was told personally, to my face, by the previous mayor, that if I want to file complaints on the trash, then that's when they'll enforce it. Well, it shouldn't be my job to file any kind of complaint on an individual. You folks have the power within the ordinances, within the statutes, with everything else. And plus too, I don't know if too many people realize that the boulevards are owned by the town. Also, the sidewalks are owned by the town. So from the property side of the sidewalk out is the town's property. You folks can do anything you want. I thought Lloyd was gonna cry the other day because I said, they can even cut down these maple trees of ours and we don't have nothing to do it. And she said, whoa, wait a minute, you know, whoa, we ain't doing that. And I agreed, but it's to that point because, you know, there might be a time to where the town needs to come in and cut them down without any permission for a water leak. We all know we don't have any right now, but it could happen. But I want to thank you for your force. I want to thank you for the input. I want to thank you for your understanding. It's now time. You have all rights to get on it. Not only do you have rights on the boulevards and the city-owned property, but you have the rights to come on our property and check for permits, structure, hazards, anything. You have that. By us living in the town of Stephenville, we're open. He knows the issue that we went through, and I went through, and on my electric for my house fire. You're more than welcome to come on the property because you have the power. So execute it, clean it up. It'd be great. Thank you.
Mrs. Loica?
I'm Lori Knapp, and the owner of the house right across the street from this mess. I just want to say that there's a comment in the different things that are being published by the lawyers that the town of Stevensville isn't authorized. They were taken off the court suit. When Mel Cook and I decided to make this suit, the reason the town was taken off, originally we were suing the town and Kowarski. I think I told you this last time, but I want to reiterate. We were told very clearly by the town that the town would clean it up if we took you off the suit. So we have, and it keeps coming up. The reason I'm reiterating this is because it keeps coming up in these different documents from the lawyers. Oh, the town was taken off, so. There was a reason. We shouldn't have done it, shouldn't have listened. Please, help us out.
Thank you, Lloyd. Any other comments from the public? Any comments from the council? Seeing none, Janelle, would you take the vote?
Councilmember Brown?
Aye.
Councilmember Nelson?
Aye.
And Councilmember Smith?
All right.
Motion passes 3-0. Thank you, Pat, and thank you, Lloyd. We're moving on to item number F, discussion decision, resolution number 527, resolution of Stephenville Town Council declaring certain town property as surplus and authorizing its disposal. So as you can see by the list here, it's quite extensive. We've got cars, we've got squad cars, we've got an ambulance, we've got computer equipment, we've got. And what I like about it, and thank you, Janelle put it in, and I've never seen that before. Like the Dodge Charger, police vehicle, or the airport. And so it's broken down on who, what has what, and where it came from. So I think that's pretty good. So with that, could I get a motion? Councilmember Brown.
I move that we adopt resolution number 527, the resolution of towns of the Stevensville Town Council declaring certain town property as surplus and authorizing its disposal.
Thank you. I have a motion by Councilmember Brown. Do I have a second?
A second.
I have a motion and I have a second by Councilmember Smith. Do I have a discussion by the council? Councilmember Brown.
One thing, what better way to start cleaning up town by cleaning up
Our own stuff.
our own stuff here? Just one couple questions because I know it will be asked at least one board. The money, if any, from the courtesy car for the airport, is that going to go back into the airport fund?
Correct.
Thank you. And then the same with the police department's vehicle?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to, thank you.
Although I will make a mention on the police squad car, correct me if I'm wrong, Gina, John did say if we needed the money for the general fund to help out others, that he would be willing to give that Dodge Charger out for that. But if not, nobody wants it, then we'll stay in police.
Okay, thank you.
That Dodge is the one that's up at the airport, isn't it?
Yeah, it's down here now.
Oh, well, okay. Means it runs, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions by the council regarding the surplus? Any other questions, starting with the public regarding the surplus? And from the council or the public, seeing none, Janelle, would you take the vote, please?
Councilmember Brown? Aye. Councilmember Nelson?
Aye.
And Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Thank you. There is no board reports. Town council comments.
Go ahead.
Councilmember Nelson.
I just had a question pertaining to the mess that was apparently taking 30 years to get tabled on. What is this with the whole, take the town off of the lawsuit? It just seems backhanded. I mean, especially that nothing's been done with it after the fact. But I know that's not how we're gonna work with this stuff. We don't play that way. But like, is that really how the citizens were dealt with in the past on this?
It was an agreement that they had made.
Yeah.
And the reason why they sued the town is because 4 other times from that file.
I understood that part. I'm in the part where the town pretty much, yeah. The previous administrations, it just came across kind of a bullying tactic. I didn't really much care for. I was just curious.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Smith.
Go ahead, President.
When I can make a comment,
Go ahead, I'll let you make a comment.
real quick, that was a bartering deal that Brandon Dewey put upon her.
Yeah.
And so it was such a chaotic mess and everything else with other things, in my opinion, and of knowledge. He asked Lloyd, if I promise I'll clean it up if you take the town off the lawsuit. Because there was so many other lawsuits brewing that he probably didn't have time. So that's why that, my opinion.
Okay. Thank you for the clarification. I appreciate that.
Any other council comments? Councilmember Smith.
I had the honor and opportunity to go to Cassie Cops's graduation from her police academy just Tuesday, and it was a great event there in Helena. And she came here with flying colors, and like very close to making top honors in the entire group. Had to be about 75, 80 graduates, and just very good. We're glad to have her and hope we can keep her.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to the executive report. It's not much here. On the 19th, I met with Fred Simpson of MMIA regarding the Bird Fork Estates lawsuit against the town out there. There's nothing action going on at this time. It's pretty much stalled. They're waiting to hear from their attorney on moving forward down there. Fred, for the second time, has made a motion to the court to have it all dismissed because there's really nothing there. So, but he did say if there is an update, he would get a hold of me, and then he would be glad to come down here to have a closed executive session to give the council an update. If that would work for you guys. So that's that coming down. On the 27th, which was yesterday, we had a pre-construction meeting with HDR regarding the Mission Street water main replacement project. MRI Construction has started moving in their equipment, and you can see it over there. They've been dropping flyers around, and this, I picked these off of, one off the Tavix and another one off the internet, but that's what they're passing around, the road closures. And then they're also passing around these water notices to the residents on Mission Street. And there's gonna be like an 8-hour delay. And so I got together with Janelle this morning, and she steered me up to Colette, who, if there's a shut off and people on that need water for whatever reason, for their toilets or whatever, while they're having water, they can free to come here down to town hall. We have a faucet on the second stall over here on the fire side, and Colette would be glad to assist them fill up their water jugs or whatever they need. So,
Great idea.
yeah. That wasn't mine, that was hers and Colette's.
Great idea.
Take no credit. So. And then tomorrow, I have also things regarding the water issues. We're going to, we have issues, we have people that owe us money. So starting next week, Janelle is going to put a list together, just going to make phone calls out to people. and we're going to ask them to start paying their water bills. If they don't do it, and then they're gonna get a visit from me. Yep, me and Public Works Director Cody are in, and he's gonna have the key, and we're gonna shut it off, because I think we got $21,000.
Right about there.
Yeah, $21,000 of back pay that people owe us, long overdue. So we've got to get that handled too. So that's coming down the pipe. And tomorrow we're having our 5th Friday workshop, so town hall will be closed. Janelle and Gina did a great job of putting an itinerary for us. All the staff will be here, Public Works will be here. We'll fine tune some job descriptions of Public Works. We'll also start on budget talks with all the department heads. We'll start fine tuning their wish list and get that down. So, and the goal is, and not a goal, we're gonna do it, starting in May, we're gonna start budget workshops because we wanna have our budget done in June this year.
So
We're
this
not gonna wait till August or September like we did before, because that's a fine after the budget is. If we wait too long.
Yeah.
Every month afterwards, we have to pay a fine. But I think we can get it done this year because Robert's been coming in, Gina's started on it, we've been doing a really good job getting ahead of it. The budget's gonna be tight again this year, but since we're only going to fund 3 officers instead of 4, that's gonna save us over $50,000 there. And I think we told you earlier, we were a little under $100,000 short, but that's coming together to be, between not having a utility clerk and all this other stuff, that, and speaking of that, we're going to have to bring an agenda item together, and I know we've discussed this year before, but we have a clerk sitting over there that's worked her butt off since December. She did utility billing. She did the clerk. That's one of the reasons why the minutes aren't here tonight. She did her clerk duties, she's utility billing, and she's filled in to help John. So she's clearing 3 roles here. And we can say what we want, but I truly believe that we have to bring some compensation to Janelle. We really do. We owe that to her. We do as a town. Yes, we should have had a utility clerk by now. But we want to get her right, and Gina may have had a phone call today with somebody, right? And she's very positive about this one.
Okay.
We've been doing the interviews. How many interviews we did now?
Oh my gosh, we probably talked to 7, 6 or 7 people.
Yes, 7 interviews.
Mhm.
And these 2 know what's going on. Janelle especially does with utility billing. I mean, she could probably jump over there and just boom, but she has other duties. So I want to put that out there now for you guys to think about. But we do need to compensate her somehow. She
I got
deserves
my water bill on time.
it. So there's that too. And then tomorrow we'll be working on some other things, budget. And what else are we gonna be doing tomorrow?
Budget, what else tomorrow? Budget, oh gosh, we've got employee pieces, just things that are kind of going on,
Updates.
health insurance
Payroll and
updates.
that
And
like that.
the benefits, clocking in, overtime, the new email migration, how we're gonna kind of handle the changing of the water meters, that kind of thing. So just kind of overall housekeeping kind of stuff, pretty much.
Okay.
So this is tomorrow, 6 p.m.?
No, tomorrow 8.
8 a.m.
It's for the employees.
It's for the. Okay.
So better wake up early.
You can come if you want to.
Or not go to bed, I guess.
Okay, and with that, I'd like to wish each and every one of you a Good Friday and a happy Easter, and eat lots of ham and all that good stuff.
One other little quick announcement I forgot. Once again, April 5th is a meet and greet for our new chief of police and also Cassie at the senior center, 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock. That's on April 5th.
Thank you. And I have one more thing about Cassie. She got back yesterday. She started work from noon to 8. And Robert and I and Gina had got together and we were able to give her a $24 an hour raise, from $21.90 something to $24 now, starting Monday. So we're doing everything we can to try to keep her.
This is the young lady that just graduated.
Yes. So with that, can I get a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
First, do we have a second? I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Yes.